A view like this, nearly 2 miles high in the sky, can't be beat. It's a harrowing trek up here near the Highland Lookout Tower at Devil's Peak. When you've got that hankering to read a good book, the best place to go is your local library. But what if you live in a town like Wisdom that doesn't have a library? Easy. Just build your own. Burt Mooney Airport has yet to cancel a flight this winter due to inclement weather. And though we've got a blizzard absolutely pouring here in the mining city, that didn't stop this bad boy from getting home. These boxes will be here in the chief executive's office until December 16th. And remember, you can't make a wish for yourself. It has to be for someone else. So I guess I'll just have to wait until somebody else wishes for me to get a new car. Now that would be a Christmas miracle. Closing out your senior year with a state title is about as close to a storybook ending as it gets. Of course, Priggy's story isn't over yet, but it does continue with a question. Where will he be swinging to next? But this reporter's garb doesn't really seem fit to run. Now that's more like it. Don't leave them hanging, because that would be a real punch in the gut. Make sure to look at this list and figure out what your gnome name is. Maybe yours will be just as silly as mine. In Bozeman, Hilda Root Dorter, nonstop local. And when Coach says that anybody can do these things, I mean it. Reporting in Butte, I'm DJ Bauer. Montana right now. Surely you've heard of the phrase odd jobs, a description typically used for small pieces of work on the side. Then there are odd jobs, strange professions that you may not find in many places. Well, the profession held by a select few here at the Berkeley Pit in Butte, America may be the oddest job of all. Gunshots, cannon fire, and whatever this noise is. All typical sounds you'll hear among the daily operations at the Berkeley Pit, Butte's famous collection of acid water and toxic chemicals from years of mining. But there's no need to worry, as the engineers at Montana Resources have it under control. There is one thing out of their control, though: the birds.
There's been some years where we've had as many as 15,000 birds that have landed at the Berkeley Pit.
As it turns out, Butte is smack dab in the middle of a large migration corridor for many varieties of waterfowl, heading south for the winter or back north for the summer. And sometimes these birds like to take a little rest where they shouldn't, like on top of a lake of deadly chemicals. Since 1996, the Pitt's Waterfowl Protection Program has spent every day scaring away their feathery visitors, and they've got a full arsenal of resources to do it.
The go-to is the rifle, and that allows the folks hazing to put shots near waterfowl, which creates a splash and scares them off the surface. We also use handheld lasers, bullhorns, a host of drone technologies, both aerial and on the water.
For larger events, we also have the ability to do fireworks.
While the tactics may seem strange, it gets the job done, as they reported a 99.9% success rate at keeping birds out of harm's way. And come on, who wouldn't love to say that they get paid to scare birds for a living?
It's wonderful. It really is. It ties in my love for nature and natural systems with doing essentially a really good deed and helpful for both our community and the parties responsible for waterfowl protection at the Berkeley Pit.
So, if you happen to stop in Butte and hear something like this, don't be alarmed, it's no big deal. It's quite literally for the birds. DJ Bauer, nonstop local. The most legendary season in Montana Tech basketball history, capped off with its most legendary moment.
I still don't know what was going through my mind, because it all kind of happened so fast, I think. And I saw that I was going to be wide open, so I was like, all right, if it comes to me, I kind of, you don't have an option at that point. The clock's almost gone, so you got to shoot it, so.
That buzzer beater by Drew Hughes came in the waning seconds of a thrilling championship game between two schools that were the class of last year's Frontier Conference. Both Montana Tech and Carroll won 27 games, were ranked in the top 15, and earned a 3 seed in the national tournament, with the two teams splitting the regular season contests. A rubber match in the finals in which neither ever led by more than 2 possessions just had to happen. And the Orediggers, winners of only 7 games just 5 years prior, got their storybook ending.
When we got there, we were terrible. We were probably the worst team in the conference. Our redshirt freshman year, we got a little bit better. The next year, we got a little bit better. Beat the Grizz, got better. I mean, every year we got better and better. And then to cap it off our senior year like that, I mean, that's what made it so sweet, I think, for a lot of us.
But hold on, a moment like this can't be so memorable without a little controversy. Additional angles show that the shot clock may have already expired by the time the ball came out of Hughes' hands. And with no replay to check, the call on the floor stands. There's been some discourse about it in the time since, but nothing definitive. So did he get it off in time? Of course he did. At least that's what Hughes' teammates will tell you.
I think he did, because what people tend to forget is basketball is when it's 1 second and then it goes to zero, there's still 0.9, 0.8, 0.6, 0.7. And I think he got it off within those seconds.
In that photo, like, it doesn't do it justice for the real game, because in the real game, you can see it come out and then the buzzer goes off. It is what it is. Like, it's a good shot and no time left.
And as for Hughes himself, do you think he got it off in time?
Yes. And I'll never say no. And I'll always say yes. So even if you don't believe me, I still say yes.
We may never find the truth, but we do know one thing for certain: the story isn't over. These teams will meet for the first time since that crazy game on January 5th, and 13th ranked Montana Tech is hoping to keep its hot start flaming. But Carroll finally has the chance to get the sour taste of defeat out of their mouth. It's must-watch basketball. Look for a packed house in the Hyper Complex and maybe a couple familiar faces in the crowd. In Butte, DJ Bauer, SWX. Well, the calendar may read October, but it's clear that the winter weather has arrived here in the mining city. And while my fingertips may be frozen, that's perfect conditions for a gritty, old-fashioned Frontier Conference football matchup between Montana Tech and Southern Oregon. And the Ore Diggers come rolling out in front of their home crowd wearing pink as part of their Cancer Awareness Day. A really nice gesture, but the only color you could see today was white. All that snow should mean frozen offenses, right? Think again. Blake Thielen combats the cold with a 61-yard house call to Trevor Hoffman. No sniffles today. And it looks like the Avalanche is about to fall when Naoki Harmer does some harm, blocking the punt, and Clay Fisher goes ice fishing for the loose ball. He reels in a biggin, 6 points. Raiders offense is ice cold at this point until Gunnar Yates puts on the burners and scorches the Montana Tech defense for 68 yards to keep it within a touchdown. But Thielen shows why he has ice in his veins. He lobs it to Logan Kennedy, who topples Raiders defenders like melting snowmen, and he Yukon Gold rushes his way to the promised land for another score. Tough sledding for the visitors as Montana Tech wins this winter wonderland war 45-21 over the Raiders. In Butte, DJ Bauer, SWX.
Nice move from Lutke, but a little strong on the shot. Fight for the rebound, Peoples. That tall 6'5" frame comes down with it. A guy who averages nearly 6 rebounds a game. And a team that averages almost 28 rebounds a game. Inside feed, some confusion, but the ball squirts free to Owen McPartland. McPartland in trouble, has to dump it off to Lose. 13 on the shot clock, and another good feed for Jack Keeley. Eric Lose is making it look easy with these indoor passes.
Yeah, Keeley almost has spidey senses. Can sense when there's an open pocket in the defense and cuts to it. Good find by Butte Central and another easy bucket.
And that's something that Brody Kelly really likes about Lose as he comes down the floor with it now. He always knows where to make the open pass. And there's another one right there. Quick bucket for Kyle Holter. Puts him on the stat sheet. And already 3 assists for Lose. Let's see what inbound play they draw up. It'll go to Lose. Back to Peoples with 3. Yes, sir. Dougie Peoples hitting his first 3 of the night to put Butte Central up 32-15.
Just when you feel like you've settled down on defense, Peoples can really expand it. And a tough 3 there.
13 first half points for him with just over 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, and another turnover for the Bulldogs. Peoples, he'll try his luck again, and he'll hit it again. Fantastic stuff. 16 points for Peoples.
Heat check, Dougie Peoples. Oh my.
The Bulldogs have no choice but to call a timeout now, trailing by 20. Their biggest deficit of the day. A hot shooting night again for Peoples. Came in averaging 24 points per game. Season high 36 against Big Fork. And has scored 14 in every game this season. He's already eclipsed that mark with 16. What can the Bulldogs do to stop him? 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Peoples inside pass and nice and easy for Jack Keeley. He had a good look at an open shot and he decided to give it to his teammate instead for a better look.
And that was almost second nature from Dougie Peoples. He saw the defender come and just flipped it right to his teammate. Selfless play by Dougie.
Some really crafty inside movement so far from the Maroons have been a big story in this one as they lead this 37-18. 2.5 to go in the second quarter. Stenson backing down Mudry. Tough shot, and it goes through.